Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Garrison Hurst, stiff farm going 99. Don't get it twisted, one and all with prime time. John Taylor, Jerry.
Hello everyone and welcome to another 49er Faithful UK show. Unfortunately, Gareth can't make it tonight. I think he's moving very, very soon and is packing, and we've all moved. We all know how it's like. So it's just me hosting tonight. I'm Nadgy and I'm joined by Paul Hope.
What's up, Faithful?
And Lee Gallen.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
All right, so back to normal schedule, kinda. We're doing a Seahawks review incoming. You guys got your 3 talking points for the game. Who wants to go first?
Go on then, Paul.
Go on, Paul.
Well, my first one, I saved my catchphrase for you all boys, so I'm feeling pretty good. So my main talking point is a system quarterback. That's what I've heard he's called. So we're going to discuss Brock Purdy. My second one is good things happen when Brandon Ayuk gets the ball. And my third one is the score prediction. We had our first 100% success. Yeah. Gowland is fuming. Look at his face. Look at his face.
You know what? You went for the same score that I went with twice last season, and I should have known better and went with that score.
Well, do you want to make you laugh, Lee? I can't read my own writing. I thought I went for 31-16. So in the Discord group, we were all wanting another field goal, so I was right. And then the next morning when Nadgy was like, you were spot on, I was thinking, I was 3 out. And then I watched, I was sure back. I was like, 31-13. So we said it would never happen. It's happened. So of course we're going to talk about it.
So I was kicking myself because last season against the Seahawks, I went with 31-13 twice.
You did, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what.
There was some logic.
Classic. All right, go on. Yeah. 3 talking points.
Okay, 3 talking points. Sammy Womack's back, baby.
Yeah, yes.
Joanne Jennings is a juggernaut.
Yep.
And definitely. We're back to being Sack Francisco.
Oh,
is back.
Hard to say.
It is hard to say.
Very, very nice. Yeah, my 3 talking point, I had Jawan as well, because we all love a third and Jawan. That play was awesome. We're definitely the best team in the NFC West. More on that very soon. And my third one was, I was going to talk Brock Purdy as well. He's very good. Although, there's been posts on the group talking about an elite throw, which I don't think is that good of a throw, but, Brock Purdy is amazing. Don't get me wrong. But we're going to talk about all that. First, though, because I think this might be the first time, I'm sure some people in the group have gone to Seattle, but we had our own El Presidente in attendance. Do you want to talk to us really quickly about the city first, and then tell us about Lumen Field? Do you think it's worth to go? Do you think it's not worth to go? Did you have a good time? Did you know? We all know you had a good time.
So obviously I had limited time there. I was only there really two full days, because the third day was game day and the full day was spent tailgating and at the game. It's a smaller city than San Francisco. What surprised me was it's just as hilly as San Francisco. That caught us out because I went out for a run on the Wednesday morning. I managed to basically run around all the major sites in a 7-mile route on the morning, so it didn't really take us very long. Other than the Space Needle and Lumen Field, there's not really much there. The Pike Market, I hate the smell of fish. I'll have to be honest. So, I mean, me and Andy Hudson went in there and we were having a mooch about. And as soon as we came up against the fish stall, we had to actually walk outside and look at it from outside in over, because it just stunk and it just turned me green, that did. It was interesting to see the very first Starbucks that is right outside of Pike Market. Believe it or not, we had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to join the queue to get into that Starbucks. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, I did that too. We went there was a massive queue, and I just went 2 blocks away, and there's another one which is bigger and more modern, and it's the same coffee.
But the whole point was to get that coffee from the very first Starbucks, and to get your photo taken outside. On the Wednesday morning, I think it was the Wednesday morning, might have been the Friday morning. It all just blurred into one. I think it was the Friday morning actually. Yeah, we got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, went to Starbucks, had our photo taken outside, grabbed a coffee and a cup, and then went back to the hotel. I think I actually grabbed it definitely was Friday. Definitely was Friday. Because as soon as we got back to the hotel, I went back to bed again for an hour because I was still hungover. I can't believe I'm going to tell you this, but I must have still been drunk on the Friday morning, because after getting dressed, I forget to put my shoes on and I was out the door. And Andy was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "What? Your shoes?" Oh, God. Sorry, I won't get my shoes on. But yeah, I'd had a lot to drink on game day. Let's put it that way. So the city itself, I wasn't really that impressed. I tried to do as much of it as possible, but like in that short space of time, it's difficult.
Yeah.
You go up the Space Needle, and I mean, it was $42, I think it was.
Yeah, it's expensive. Though.
You get some great views. I can't lie, you get some great views. You can see across the Cambridge Island, which is a place that I wanted to go to, but we didn't get to because we didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And you can pretty much see all the different sites around Seattle. You can see Lumen Field, you can see T-Mobile Park, which is right next to Lumen Field. You can't quite see down onto the piers because you've got all the skyscrapers stopping that. But it is worth it, and they've got a glass floor. And I never ever thought I would have a problem with heights. I don't mind heights at all. But the strangest thing happened as soon as I walked onto that glass floor. My legs just felt like lead all of a sudden. I couldn't believe it.
Well, was the Friday morning?
This was the Friday morning.
No.
Was this the fireball, or was this the glass floor?
I can definitely say it was the glass floor, mate. I can honestly. It took us by surprise because, like I said, I've never had a problem with heights. But as soon as I walked on there and looked down, my legs just felt like lead. I was doing little baby steps along there. Wow. It took me a good 5 minutes to get the confidence to just walk backwards and forwards on the glass floor confidently. I mean, luckily for me, I did get the confidence. Andy didn't. He was shuffling backwards and forwards like the penguin out of the old 1960s, 70s Batman series. And I understand why he was doing that, because, I mean, like I said, as soon as I walked on there, I thought, oof, I didn't expect that reaction from myself. But it's well worth doing. Great views, you get a photo done and stuff like that. I think if you're going to go Seattle, you definitely need to do the Space Needle once. Yeah. Outside of that, like I said, we did Point Market. We went around all the different shopping areas, went down the piers. The piers are a poor copy of San Francisco piers. It's the type of thing that you'd expect to see in Scarborough. There's a lot of tacky gift shops there. It wasn't great, but I mean, overall we enjoyed the experience anyway because we were there for the sport. So outside of the city itself, obviously we did the ice hockey on the Wednesday night at Climate Pledge Arena. That was quite good, although the Sharks absolutely suck. They were terrible. But it was interesting because I turned up in my gold jacket. I think the other guys all had 49er badges on somewhere or the other. And pretty much every one of the staff in Climate Pledge turned around and said, "Go Niners." There was only one guy turned around and said, "Go Seahawks." What one of the staff in Climate Pledge. The funny thing was, we were sat just 2 seats over from these two guys, and all game. So obviously, I've got this bright gold jacket on. It's obvious I'm a Niners fan, and everything else I had on was Niners anyway. And they were sat just 2 seats along from us all game long. And I think there's about 3 minutes left in the third period, and me and Andy got up to go to the toilet before everybody rushes out the stadium. And the guy must have thought I was leaving. So he finally takes this opportunity to pipe up and say, "Go Seahawks." So I laughed at him and just went up to the toilet. And then I came back, and this is when I realised he thought I'd gone. Because as soon as I got to that end of the aisle and said, "How are you fellas? Get yourselves up so I can get along," he turned white as a sheet. He must have thought, "Oh my God, what's going to happen here?" But it was funny. I mean, it was good-natured. What I would say, and this is a huge plus point for anybody who wants to go to a game in Seattle, I didn't come across a Seahawks fan who was obnoxious or aggressive or anything like that. They're all very welcoming, apart from one, maybe it's one. So when we went into the stadium, and she didn't have anything to do with us, personally, we weren't talking to her, and she was being obnoxious to other Seahawks fans as well, not just 49er fans. When we got into the stadium up on the concourse, I think it was only about half an hour before the game, so it was quite packed. It was quite packed. In fact, we were at a standstill trying to move around to where our seats were. And this one woman just piped up telling everybody to move out of the way because she has a seat ticket. To which Paul Lane, who was with us, replied, "We've all got seat tickets, love. You're going to have to wait your turn." And that's all he said to her. And she turned around to a student and said, "That 49er fan has just been aggressive to us and threatened us." All he said was, "You're just going to have to wait your turn like the rest of us." So she was the only one, but luckily enough, there was other Seahawks fans around us basically telling her to shut up. But in a little bit of a stronger way, they were telling her to shut up. So it was quite good. There was a family in front of us. He was really good-natured. He was an absolute scream. So he had 2 daughters and a wife. The 2 daughters were sat in between the 2 parents. I think the eldest daughter was maybe 13, 14, the youngest 6 or 7. And midway through the third quarter, she turned around and said, "Daddy, the Seahawks are crap. Why can't we be 49er fans?" So I said, "Give us a fist bump." And she just looked at us and looked at her dad. "No, I can't do that. Can't do that." But yeah, there was no problems whatsoever. It just felt really, really welcoming. So I was quite happy with all that. The stadium itself, it does look good. The prices are pretty much on comparison with Levi's. They sold out of game day pins by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is before the gates opened up. They had them in the team shop. They sold out the team shop by 1 o'clock. By the time we got inside the stadium, there's no game day pins left. I went round every single stand on that upper concourse and nothing at all, which was a bit disappointing. The way it's set out, I think it's set out okay, but when you get so many people who tailgate and then turn up the game 45 minutes before kick-off, half an hour before kick-off, you literally have tens of thousands of people trying to squeeze through these concourses to get to the seats. So that caused a little bit of an issue, but nothing that kind of spoiled the whole experience.
Right. It's an older stadium, isn't it? They didn't really think of that kind of stuff back in the day.
And it's not as cold as I thought. It's not as cold as I thought.
Oh, interesting.
So, I mean, I went wearing thermals. I had a T-shirt underneath my jersey and I had a hoodie. So when we got to the stadium, I put my hoodie on underneath my jersey and then I had my gold jacket and a hat. And, we didn't feel the cold at all. Good.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, when I was there, I didn't get abused or anything, and I had 900 gear on pretty much all the time. I would say, the city itself, I think if you're just going to go to Seattle, a couple of days, 3 days maybe, if you really don't want to do much. But I think it's more about going to the islands, going in the forest, going exploring Washington State rather than Seattle itself. There's not that much to do in there, but it is beautiful all the way around.
Had we realised before Friday morning that you can jump on a fast ferry and get to Canada in 1 hour, we'd have gone to Canada.
Yeah.
Just to say we've been to Canada.
Go to Vancouver, well, other side of the border here. Cool. All right. Amazing. Sounds like you had a good time. Shall we talk about Thanksgiving meat and game? Where should we start? Let's start Sammy Womack. I think because I think it was pretty obvious he was back. You could tell. It makes Mitch's job so much easier in my eye when he's on the field. And I think, was it the first punt he got down to the 1 or the 2? I can't remember. Well, I mean, he passed it to Darryl
to Ronnie Bell, I think it was.
Oh, to Ronnie Bell, that's right.
Yeah, it was to Ronnie Bell.
I thought it was Luther Jr., who we should talk about as well. Yeah, go on, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, he made 2 great plays on special teams. That one where he downed it at the 1 to Ronnie Bell, and then I think it was 3rd or 4th quarter, he made an excellent tackle on a 49ers punt again to bring the ball carrier down. And I thought it just made such a difference because as soon as the special teams come on, I think what we've expected from Sammy since the start of last season is he makes plays. He's one of the quickest on special teams. And not only is he quick, he always seems to be in the right place at the right time to make a play.
Yeah. Are you afraid that he might just turn into a special team player and being just a perennial special team player, or do you think he's got a shot at ever making the team as a corner?
I think he's got a shot at making the team as a corner. If you believe the rumours, Shanahan wasn't very impressed with his tackling of the runner ability. He didn't think he was as aggressive as what he could have been. But when you see him on special teams, he never shies away from tackle there, and he goes in full beans.
Yeah.
I think Ambry Thomas playing so well is going to make it difficult.
Yeah.
Because Ambry Thomas is playing really well. I think Isaiah Oliver is a non-component in this. I can't see us keeping hold of him at the end of the season because I think he's been poor. I think because we've still gone for another 2 seasons, I think he's going to be on the team for those 2 seasons, and I think he's going to have an opportunity. It'll come along. Injuries happen all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wish an injury on anybody. If he gets a shot, he gets a shot. I think he is a good player. I think he just needs to have a decent run in the team to show that. But he has to earn that. That's the thing. He has to earn it.
Yeah, that's right. I really want to quickly talk about Darrell Luther Jr. as well. Is it Luther or Luther? I can't remember now.
Luther.
Luther, yeah, there's no H. Go on, Paul, tell us about it. Did you get a little bit scared when, I can't remember who the returner was, but saving touch and tackle, and they didn't even score points on that drive, if I recall.
No, I think...
Or they scored 3, maybe? Yeah, maybe just a field goal on that drive, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, because they didn't score a touchdown on the offensive side of the ball, did they? Which we'll get to. But I think I'm going to answer your question going back to the Womack one. If you'd asked me that same question you'd asked late a couple of weeks ago, I'd have been nervous. Now, there was a lot of talk about Steve Wilkes, but the likes of Womack, the likes of Luther, they've been mixed in. They've been getting snaps here and there, and Wilkes has done very well at preparing these chaps. Like you've said, the NFL injuries, unfortunately, we've lost Burks. But Womack came back in, and sometimes in the NFL, you grasp your chance as a special teamers. I think we traded up for Luther. There was a lot of talk in the offseason. Chapman, Breezy, the content creators we reference were very high on this kid. We hadn't seen much of him, Nadgy, but like you said, if you're going to make an impact in the biggest game of the season, like you said, if that kid misses a tackle, the kick return is away. And Seattle special teams are ranked number 1 in the league. And because we didn't have time to do a proper preview show, I hadn't really thought about it until about an hour before kickoff. And I was reading up on the articles and I was thinking, hang on a minute, special teams could come to bite us on the bum. But I think he did well. I was quite impressed with him. And like you said, with Hufanga being out injured, maybe this is the opportunity for someone to step up and show us what they've got.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to see from your rookies and young people, just, trying to earn the chance to start at some point. And as you said, you never know, an injury here, an injury there, you get thrusted into the lineup. I mean, Brock Purdy should know about it. And then you show up and then maybe you just win the game and you win the job and you never let it go. Now, it's good to see. And I'm glad Sammy's back because it does really change our, it wasn't just that he was back and he made 2 good plays. Our whole special team, when we're punting, the field is completely flipped. And then we had such good position all night and it really helped us win that game compared to their position, which was they were starting on their 1-2. I mean, I know Gino fell down and it started on a 1, but their starting position was horrible. And because they weren't as good as we are, it's so much more difficult if you have to drive 20, 30 more yards than the other team on every drive. Eventually it shows. You throw picks, you fumble. It's not easy. So yeah, I'm glad that our special team is showing a bit better, although that return was a bit scary. But thankfully I made the tackle at the right time. That's all that matters. All right, let's move on and talk about. What do you guys want to talk about? Should we talk BA? Should we talk Jawan Jennings? That was setting. Let's talk Jawan because we don't talk about him that often. Go on.
You mean the best 7-yard reception the NFL has seen this year, Nadgy? Give it its props. Give it its props.
That was so good. Go on, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, but what can you say about it? It was incredible. He should never, ever have gotten a first down.
Not even close.
He should never, ever have gotten a first down there. It was just incredible to see him make that spin move and those two defenders coming in after he was already wrapped hold of by one of them and make them miss while he's engaged with the defender and then fight his way to that first down. He, like I said, he's like a juggernaut. That's what he's like. And he's a safe pair of hands as well, especially on third time.
Yeah, it really is. To me, and you can tell me if you felt the same when you saw the play, at that moment, it showed to me that we wanted it more than they did. And it's not just, oh, it's a good play and he got a tiny bit lucky. He wanted it more than the Seahawks wanted to stop him. And I think that kind of showed the whole mindset of both teams at that time. And then we saw the same thing with DK Metcalf had one on the 3rd and 8 on the slant, and he didn't try it anywhere near as hard and got tackled. It was like 4th and 2 or something. And he could have, because he's strong and he's big, apparently. That's what everybody says. But, I think like those two players contrasted the whole night. Or one team really wanted to win. The other one was kind of just enjoying Thanksgiving as soon as possible. They just wanted to get out of here and eat some turkey. But yeah, Paul, what did you think of him? Do you think that showed, or it's just me being biased?
No, well, El Presidente said it this time last year. Chalk and cheese. Look at DK Metcalf came into this, giving it the talk, didn't need to know the Niners defenders were. He was the man. And I think what's overlooked is the amount of playmakers we have on our team. When your number's called, you have to make that opportunity. And Jennings had one reception for 7 yards. And like you said, you see the freeze frame. How he's got first down from there is unbelievable, but it shows the fight in the team, but it also shows the pride in your work, and it set the tone. Like you said, 3 defenders around him, no problem. And then he's still blocking his heart out all night long. He got one reception. Debo, it was his time to get his numbers called. I know Gareth's not here, Lee, but Gareth did say Debo was going to be the man to watch, so give Gareth his props. But it just shows, like you've said, Nadgy, we turned up. This was the biggest game of the season. George Kittle talked about it before the game, and Kyle has to have the credit for turning the team around. We saw the Lions smoke out on Thanksgiving. It's what the Lions do. But we're still fighting for that number 1 seed, with the number 1 team in the NFC. And the Seahawks gives me nightmares. 10 years I've had Russell Wilson tormenting me. And apart from a couple of nervy moments on Thursday night, I wouldn't even call them that. I'm quite getting used to this, chaps. Quite like going up into Seattle. And it must have been awesome being there, Lee. Like when Jennings made that play, Lee, on Thursday night, the home crowd must have just thought, what can we do?
Yeah.
You know what? The home crowd was dressed in red, mate. I was quite surprised how many 49 fans got into the stadium. And one of the things I haven't mentioned, I've just watched the game back in 40, and it did actually sound loud on the recording. But when you're in the stadium, it didn't sound as loud as what I was expecting it to sound. Although I hadn't said that. So Sam Tranmer, who was over there with us, he had earplugs in all throughout the game because it was hurting his ears. It was that loud. But again, I'd had a lot to drink, so don't take my word for it. But I didn't particularly think it was an intimidating atmosphere. And like I said, when you looked round, all you could see is red jerseys everywhere, red jerseys and gold jackets.
Nice jackets.
But it was great to be there. And I mean, the thing that did it for me was the last touchdown to Ayuk, that throw, and that was at the end zone where we were, so we had a great view of that. And yeah, we went absolutely nuts when that went in.
Well, you've segued nicely into that
perfect
throw,
segue,
because I'm going to agree with Nadgy Karar, and I've done some homework on this, but go on, Nadgy, because you don't think it is an elite throw, and I'm going to agree with you, only because I've watched some breakdowns and people who know more about this than me. It was a good throw.
It's a good
fantastic touchdown, Lee, but go on, Nadgy. I know where you're going with this one, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about BA, of course, in a minute, because as you said, Paul, when we involve him into our game, when he gets involved, everything is so much easier, and that touchdown was pretty good, very good. But yeah, I saw some people posting oh, nobody talks about this throw. If Mahomes does this throw, it's talked about. It's like, nah, everybody's 4 yards away from Ayuk. I think the closest defender is about 2 yards away. And if you actually, because I watched it in the All-22, if you pause as soon as Brock just about let go of the ball, he's got about half a field to work with, and Ayuk has beat his guy. It's just wide open, and yeah, it drops it in, and it's a very nice throw because he's on the move. He's about to get hit. He's just sliding outside the pocket to his left, which is really hard to throw back across your body, kind of thing. And yeah, it's a good throw. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is top 10, top 15 throw for sure, but it's not. This isn't the best throw you'll see Brock do. He's done.
Yeah.
Like, the one last week against the Bucks to Ayuk was better, I think.
I think the perspective that people are coming from is Jimmy Garoppolo would never even attempted that throw.
Yeah, no, absolutely, of course, yeah. No,
And
that's what I mean.
Who, Lee? Jimmy who?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's top 15, isn't it? And we all know Jimmy is probably around. When he was with us, he was probably around 15, 20 kind of thing in terms of QB ranking. But that's my opinion. I've watched it back, and I just think it's a throw I expect Brock to do 9 times out of 10 and hit it 9 times out of 10. But he had the check down to Juice wide open for first down as well. So
yeah,
just go and watch the whole 22.
Yeah, I was going to say JT O'Sullivan broke it down, Nadgy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he
cool.
said he was impressed with Jimmy, would have checked it down.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan was expecting a check down.
Yeah.
Obviously, the touchdown was amazing, but it came after one of his worst throws. And that's why I'm smiling, because we used to reference Jimmy, didn't we? He'd turn the ball over, then he'd have a good throw. But Brock has just taken that and added another level. Because I think what people got excited as well, Nadgy, is the zone defense, which Seattle were playing. We said that in the preview show. Seattle are going to do zone, and Brock will eat that up all day long. But there's a fact it was a dart, but I've seen Ayuk may have ran the wrong route. JT O'Sullivan gives an explain, and maybe what he was saying, Brock Purdy's biggest strength is anticipation, because he says when he releases the ball, technically speaking, he had no right to throw it there, but maybe that's the chemistry that them two have been working on. Good things happen when you throw Brandon Ayuk the ball. Lee, you must have been leaping up and down when that one went in, because as soon as it landed, you thought, this is a touchdown. And that iced the game for us, really. And it gave us the 31 points.
No,
I'm not going to lie. I was like, no more. Stop it there.
Should have won that game 45-17, I guess. But never mind. Yeah, I mean, BA is just, those two are on a different page, I think. There is some kind of, I'm not going to say it's the Manning, Reggie Wayne, and all those, like, partnerships, Gronk, Brady, that kind of thing. Not yet, but it has a feel for it. It's just like they can kind of like close their eye, throw the ball in the air, and good things will happen. BA is just amazing. I'm going to say it again. I think I said it on the live, the Bucks review that we did real quick, but a couple of weeks ago I thought BA probably wouldn't get signed again because, contracts, Debo, CMC, potentially Chase Young, Brock contract, etc. Armstead needs a new contract soon. All that kind of stuff. I was thinking maybe we can find somebody that's as good as Brandon, but seeing him live and seeing him against the Seahawks, I just think maybe not. Maybe we do need to keep BA around, especially if he's got a connection with Brock. I think that would be foolish for us to get rid of him. I don't know if you guys agree. Of course you do.
Well, have you seen the stats? 88.9% of Brandon's catches this year have either gone for a first down or a touchdown.
Yes. Yeah,
you can't quibble at that.
No, you can't break that down better than that. That's the crux essentially. Right, let's move on. Let's talk quickly defense. I know we didn't really talk defense in our free talking points. I'm sure Gareth would have, so we're going to honor him and talk about defense. I've got a new player watch, which we'll talk about later. It's Jair Brown, of course. But yeah. Oh no, you did. We did talk about.
Yeah, because I
said I can't say it.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. That's it. Go on, take it away, Lee. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, 97.
Yeah. So ever since Chase Young's come in, we've just been on the ball. We have our sacks have gone through the roof. 6 sacks.
it's because
go on
Steve Wilkes is on the sideline. I don't know.
Or it's because Sammy Womack's back and he's on the sideline.
Yeah, that's right.
Or because we were in attendance for the last 2 games in some way, shape, or form.
It's something.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned it on the broadcast on the Game 40 when I was watching it. It just feels as though every time San Francisco get a sack, it's all 4 of the defensive front line that are there all at the same time.
Yeah.
And we're doing it so well. It's going to be difficult for any type of quarterback, even a mobile quarterback. And to be honest, I mean, Geno Smith is a relatively mobile quarterback to escape that pressure. And it's going to be interesting to see how we go for the rest of the season, because we're going to be coming up against mobile quarterbacks. And if we can keep this same sort of pressure, I mean, on paper, we've got the number 1 overall offense. We've got the number 1 overall defense. This is ours to lose this season. The only thing that's going to stop us is injuries, or if players get too complacent. Because what I was going to tie that in with is something you've both mentioned earlier. I think Paul mentioned about DK Metcalf. Nadgy, you mentioned it about the whole, we want to win it more than them. That was the one thing that surprised us about Seattle Seahawks. In the preview show, I did say I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that we'd all like. And talking to some of the Seahawks fans around us, I think that was the one disappointing thing for them. They've basically said the team don't put the effort in. They just don't look as though they want to win. Sometimes they'll get a lucky break and go on a little bit of a run, but other than that, they don't seem to be able to fight it out over a course of a season. And to me, that is not a Pete Carroll team.
No.
Pete Carroll's teams have always been fighters.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just that he's gone past his prime, he's getting a little bit old for this, or whether or not he's just completely lost the locker room anyway because of whatever methods he's using. I can't think it'd be the methods, because I don't think he's going to change that much, because he's a little bit long on the tooth. So I just think it's maybe the message is getting a little bit old, or he's losing that intensity in the locker room, and that surprised me.
I think there's also a personnel thing. They just don't really have the pieces and the characters that they used to have that would carry the message Pete Carroll's going. They don't have the Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas and the Sherman. And as much as we hate Russell Wilson, he was kind of a leader, wasn't he? He was very much, we need to win now, we need to do this now. Like Baldwin, all these people that used to grind and work and show example, they don't really have them. They've got DK Metcalf, who just is all mouth and no action.
Yeah, he is.
Basically, I think like the only one that they've got left from that era is Tyler Lockett, which I admire as a player.
Well,
I really like his...
Bobby Wagner's back. And
Bobby Wagner's he's kind of, but he's also, he went away and he came back, and it feels like he came back as a service to the team more than really him wanting to.
Yeah.
And he's kind of there just enjoying his paycheck before he can retire and go to the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I just think they just haven't found the people to carry the message forward. Not anymore, anyway. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I love going up there and beating them down like that. It's great to see. That's 3 in a row now.
I think as well that it's a matchup nightmare. I've heard other people talk about that. Seattle have focused on the cornerbacks, the wide receivers. I think they forget what division they're in. And we have our way. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, before the Ayuk touchdown, we're all raving about run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Then he puts the pass. And Kyle Shanahan must have been thinking, where's his Seattle defense? Like you said, like Pete Carroll normally gives a tougher game. But for the last 10 years, they've given us a game. So keep this Seattle team for the next 10 years for me. But I think it's difficult to overstate how good Nick Bosa was on Sunday. Whether Chase Young's coming in and giving him that kind of kick up the backside that we all said he might need. I mean, he recorded 5 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks. And like you said, Lee, it wasn't just Bosa. Armstead, Hargrave was well. Hargrave got multiple sacks, which a couple of weeks ago we were saying we need to see a bit more from Hargrave. And then even Kinlaw, he wasn't on the field a lot, but maybe we might regret picking up his 5th-year option, because Kinlaw is looking pretty decent. But that whole defensive front is shown, like you said, Lee. We're the number 1 defense for points allowed, which is the important one for me. The offense is clicking on all cylinders, and like you said, Kyle Shanahan always gets the team playing well. this time this is, especially in bird hunting season, which we've got for the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think it starts again. I think Wilkes has changed a few things for sure. That having Bosa and Young in the middle and Armstead and Hargrave as the end, with Bosa and Young standing up as defensive tackle. That's not something you see very often. I really like it, and they kind of like do stunts out of it, and sometimes it's just bull rush out of it. It's mixed up a little bit, the rushing lanes. It's not just send for the way, try and speed rush and bull rush. So I think there's definitely been a bit of a change there that's helping. But I also think the secondary is playing much better. And Mooney Ward, who I'm pretty sure got the Discord MVP.
Unanimous Discord MVP.
Discord MVP, which is very rare, very, very rare, especially in a game where Brock is playing that well and CMC played incredible. It's rare to have a defensive player win it outright. But yeah, Mooney Ward was absolutely on point, and we've been calling for his name. He needed to play better, but that's what happens when he plays better and the secondary is tighter. Then the front four can get to and
well,
get
apparently it was Kyle Shanahan, not Steve Wilkes, that called
there we go.
Mooney Ward to shadow. That's what I've heard after the game. Apparently Shanahan wanted Ward to shadow Metcalf. I think he was targeted 10 times. There was 3 pass knockdowns. Like you said, Nadgy, Ward
should have had a pick.
Out. Should have had a pick, and he's been paid the money, and that's what we wanted to see. So he broke up 3 passes, 2 which prevented downfield throws I'm seeing here, and I think that energy allowed it. And again, you're going on about the front. Steve Wilkes isn't what he's done. It's not rocket science. He's letting his best players play. The Tampa Bay game, I thought we wouldn't see as much as Bosa, as Chase Young. They played pretty much all the snaps. They were on the field all the time. Again, that's continued in Seattle, and they're looking healthy for it. So long may it continue.
Yeah,
not a bad thing, is it, lads? Send them for after the quarterback. And if he does actually get away from them, he throws the ball deep. Mooney Ward's just going to eat it all up. So
yeah, that's it. And then we'll talk about our players later, because I do want to talk about J.R. Brown, because I think he's good. I think he's very good. I really like him. Anyway, let's move on to the big man. I forgot to put his jersey up, but he's normally there. Number 13. There you go. Thank you, Paul. Let's talk Brock, because yes, that throw that we talked about earlier I don't think was particularly extremely elite. It was a very good throw, but I do think he is elite. I think he makes us. And Collinsworth said it. If you watch the game on TV, he said it. Yes, he's got CMC, he's got Kittle, he's got Debo, but you also have to make the throw, and you have to make it on time, and it has to be not a yard too far, and it's on the money, on time. And it just makes everything click together. He's the glue to that offense, and I absolutely love him, and he's very, very good. He's going to get paid a lot of money, I think, very soon, and that's going to be a problem, but a good problem to have. Tell me, Lee, how did it look in Seattle? On a short week as well, traveling to Seattle, not easy to put a game like he did.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, he did look great. He had that one problem where he had the interception, which
not
was
really
tipped,
his fault.
to be honest.
Yeah.
No, well, it was tipped. But it was going, excuse me. It was going behind the player anyway.
Yeah.
And he probably shouldn't have thrown it when he did. But other than that, I thought he was excellent. His decision making was good. When he was scrambling, he was quick, very quick. Every decision he made was just the right decision. I can't think of anything that really had us that way. Maybe there was one other throw where I thought he was going to get done for intentional grounding. I think it was a mix-up on the route run, and the closest person to the ball was BA. But he was nowhere near the ball, and I thought we were going to get flagged for that, but he didn't. I don't know if that was a mix-up with Brock or a mix-up with BA. Other than that, he leads the team. You'd never guess that this is only his first season. Obviously, he's now past the point where he's played enough games to technically say he's had a full season. So he's now in the part where you'd expect him to regress as a second-year quarterback, and he's just getting better time and time again. He's making a lot bigger throws as well. So his big time throw rate is up. His turnover worthy throw rate is down. And he just seems to be getting better. So, I mean, nobody outside of the 49er organisation can complain about having Brock Purdy at quarterback. And hopefully all these other fans of other teams stop turning around to say, oh, well, he's a system quarterback. He's in the best team in the league. That's why he's so good. Well, it didn't work for Jimmy. Didn't work for Mullins. Didn't work for CJ Beathard.
Yeah, that's true.
And we had very good teams then.
We did.
I think my phone's broken, Nadgy, because all the haters, all the non-Niners fans who have just said what Lee said, he was a system quarterback, he's going to get found out, they've gone very quiet. I mean, the 3 Seahawks fans who were trolling me recently must have removed me off social media because they've gone very quiet. But you've said it there, Lee, the way we always wanted, not a mobile quarterback, but Carl wanted a quarterback that could extend play with his legs. And Purdy's quicker than you expect. His elusiveness was just thwarting the Seahawks on to the point where he was getting a bit arrogant with it. He was just running around the pocket. That throw, I think it was to BA you were talking about, or Sam Debo out on the sideline. Carl Shanahan shaking his head where, he's escaped the pass rush and then he's kind of thrown it away. I think Debo gets a hand to it but doesn't get his feet in. His poise in the pocket, his anticipation, his decision-making. He just looks so calm. And like you said, there's got to come a time where these haters are saying he's not a system quarterback anymore. I would say his performance against Tampa Bay was better, technically, Nadgy. But on the same hand, you've gone into your biggest rival's home. You've won 31-13. Get that scoring again.
It's well documented, Paul.
I'm not saying it. We're neck and neck. You're not getting no more out of me. If you're not saying fantastic, I'm not saying. But like you said, we've all got kind of PTSD from Jimmy, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, and to see this kid, 7th round pick. To answer your question, Nadgy, he's not going to get paid anytime soon. Our good friend John Chapman said earlier that unfortunately we're not allowed to negotiate with him till I think 2024. So we've got him on his rookie contract until then. So
we could sign an extension next year when he's got 1 year left.
Yeah, so that would be like the back end of next year.
So back end of next year, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, that's, 1 year is not that far away.
No, but equally, like you said, I mean, it doesn't even count against the salary cap chaps. I mean, 800,000 this year. He's room sharing with Zakil. I mean, he's going to get paid, and I think we're all on the Brock ship. So. I was clinging on to the Brock Express, Nadgy, purely because people were jumping on and off it. I know. Upgraded. It's what, the Brocket ship now, Nadgy?
Yeah, Brocket ship, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, damn good.
Haters are going to hate. It's just, people hated on Tom Brady for 25 years. They're not going to not hate Brock Purdy. People can't appreciate greatness sometimes when it's smacked them around the face. We're just gonna have to live with it. Just don't listen to naysayers. Just enjoy the Brocket ship. That's what I do week in, week out. I like watching football, and even if you're not a Niners fan, you should enjoy watching us at the moment. I think we're the best team in the league. It's so fun, so much fun to watch us. Even more when you're a Niners fan. I think that's it about the game itself. I mean, unless you guys want to say anything else. I would definitely, I will say again, well done, Paul, for calling the 31-13. But how didn't we not win that game 45-7? I'm not quite sure.
We left a lot of points on the field.
Yeah, we did.
You mean 45-17? You mean, Nadgy?
No, I would have taken 45-6 or whatever. I would have taken it. It was a good day. Let's talk about this. I'll put it on the screen. Hang on, present. Share screen, and there
what
it is.
What makes it even better is you mustn't have remembered my score prediction, Lee. So watching that game, you were oblivious. And then the next morning, the hangover was kicking in, and you thought, "God damn you, Paul Hoff."
so if you recall, Paul, I didn't even hear your score prediction because I made mine, and I ran off to Kells to get me point.
That's right. That's right. So you didn't know. You didn't know.
So the interesting thing before you get into that.
Go.
I think I said I had a tailgate. So Kells Bar was the meetup for the Niner Empire.
Oh yeah, we showed
So-
the videos when you sent
Yeah.
it to us on the live.
So-
So yeah.
Yeah, Travis King. Oh, that's right. I did shoot a little bit of video. I forgot about that. So yeah, Travis King was emceeing that, and Gold Bar Whiskey was there,
Oh,
and it was absolutely chocker in there. So it was a nice little warm up before we got down to our tailgate, which was the 49er Rush road trip tailgate, which again was absolutely excellent. I can't say
so close.
enough about John Chapman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
John's
excellent
a
on the
legend.
day. The tailgate was excellent. Obviously, there was a lot of people there I already knew. So it was good to bump into Coach Cruz again, Nick Parra, Wayne Breezy, Eric Meisner, John Chapman. I think there's a few other people that came up and recognised us and came over to talk to us. Obviously, the Danes were there, Bo, Kim, Thomas. I think there was maybe six or seven of us who were there as well. So it was really good tailgate. And I got to try yams for the first time, and they absolutely blew my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it was a twist on yams. I'm trying to think what was on the top of it. So yams is like a little bit of a sweet potato, but slightly different to a sweet potato.
Yeah.
But then they also done in with cinnamon, and there was something on the top which, to be honest, tasted a lot like melted marshmallow on the top.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was
Interesting.
this sweet, really sweet potatoey taste, and yeah, it just absolutely blew my mind. Beautiful.
Very
It was a
nice.
Thanksgiving special tailgate, wasn't it, Lee? And like
It was,
you said,
yeah.
I was saying to Nadgy off air, Chapman shouted us out because he joined us in the gold mine for the Buccaneers game. And he's a big supporter of ours. I was saying to Nadgy, he even name checked, like you said, the Danes, Eric from Sweden, Nadgy from France. And it just goes to show he isn't just paying lip service, though. He spent that time with us. He's met people. He's listened to us all. And for him to shout us out on his show, I mean, we're just getting started in this content creating game. But yeah, this was the bit I was looking forward to, Nadgy. So come on, let's update the viewers.
I mean, beautiful. First one of the season, full marks, 15 points to Paul Hope, just there, 13. Bang on. And then we all scored 5 points. I think we were pretty close, but just kind of like not close enough. I was the furthest away.
I
Actually.
was nowhere near.
Well, 27 is not
I
not
was
too.
close to the
Four
tower score.
points away. So you were 1 point from scoring more
I
points.
just don't like the look of that graph. I'm going to have to have a look at those formulas. I'm sure I've made a mistake somewhere.
It's
Well, what
possible.
you'll have missed the other night, Lee, Nadgy entered his score into Gareth's column and then took it out, and we said, if Nadgy gets his
did.
score now, Gareth's going to rage because it's going to be, hang on, that was in my
I did.
spreadsheet.
Yeah,
but,
that did.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting
Gareth-
tight at the top end.
Gareth was really close. I mean, he must be absolutely fuming. Really, really close to it. But, at least we've got an actual... I think it's the first time of the season we got a first, second, third, and fourth separated. We had people
I think it's
join.
second time.
Second
Earlier
time,
in the
right.
season. Yeah.
Or maybe earlier in the season, right? But yeah, as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, Paul is at the top with 56. I am second with 52. Lee with 46, third, and Gareth with 43. So it is super close. There's still a lot of games to play, and you can score 15 in one game. So it can change next week.
If
never
you look
know.
at the graph there, it looks as though week 2, Paul had a 1 point lead.
Oh yeah, that's right. I can see it. Yeah, you are correct.
See, I've
So,
got
yeah.
really bad eyesight, and I can see that.
Um,
It might be burned into my memory.
here we go. So
He's
I'm
not
watching,
competitive.
I'm watching you. Opie. I'm watching you.
I have to go first on Thursday, chap.
You
so
do,
you've all
you
got
do
the
indeed.
opportunity to,
You're gonna go first.
Yeah.
And if you're first, let's do player watch. I wanted to quick shout out before we do that to Charlie Warner and Ambry Thomas. I just see the grades for PFF have just been revealed. Charlie Warner are actually top offensive performers on Thursday night, and that is his first catch of the season for 9 yards, which
It was his first target of the season, then
first
first
target of the
catch.
season. Yeah, but he's a very good running block running tight end, and we're probably going to keep him forever, I would imagine, alongside George. And then Ambry Thomas was the highest graded with Bossa on defense, and Ambry's been seizing the opportunity and running full speed with it, which is great. All right, let's go, Colton McKivett. You were at the game. Did you have an eye on him in particular, or were you too drunk and you forgot?
Yes.
Yes. But you did just watch the game, so
I did, and to be honest, I didn't take any notice of him then either.
there you go. I mean,
so I'm going to have to give it a pass this week.
We always say when the offensive linemen don't show up on the screen, it's usually a good thing, unless it's Trent Williams chasing poor cornerbacks. But I think he had a pretty good game. The Seahawks pass rush isn't elite by any means, but there was nothing more than or less than he usually does. I'd still definitely think we might be looking for a right tackle in the draft potentially. Maybe not for next year, but for the year after, kind of thing. I'm not sure he's definitely the answer, but he's definitely not bad, which is what you want. And also shout out to Feliciano, who moved from left guard to right guard. Had a bit of a so-so game, I think. But it's very difficult to just swap side and readjust to different people in different position. But I like him. I think he plays with a good intensity, and if he can play everywhere, he's definitely going to stay on this team. All right, go on, Paul. Ronnie Bell. Did we get anything from Ronnie?
Special teams, obviously the muff punt. Ronnie Bell, biggest part of his game. Obviously he wasn't really featured as a wide receiver. I mean, like I said, Deebo Samuel had his season high. He was the focal point. Then obviously sprinkling Ayuk. I think Kittle didn't even get many. Charlie Warner is getting his touches. But again, we've said it again, Ronnie Bell.
Okay. Very nice.
So I think that was from Nicholas Perra. I seen the video
probably.
of that league.
Yeah,
it was. That's why I've got it on screen to say thank you to Nick.
Yeah.
So Wayne Breezy has been a big supporter of Ronnie Bell, being a Michigan fan, and I think the credit you can give Ronnie is he's making a name on special teams, and he's in and around the first team in his first year as a rookie wide receiver. So I'm not overly upset. Gutted your prediction of him getting a touchdown didn't come true, Nadgy, because I still remember the ball spin. But
yeah. No, he's in the same ball as Sammy Womack and Luther Jr. I'm sure if he gets the chance, and he showed it early on in the season, he will take it. And I think he's grinding, he's working hard, and he's making an impact in what he does, that's the best thing you can ask players on the bubble. That just on the edge of being able to play or not. And he was one of the reasons I thought maybe we could not sign BA and just plug him inside and let him thrive. But yeah, no, he's good. I like him. We can talk about Demo real quick since Gareth is now here. Another solid game in the nickel, I thought. I didn't really pay that much attention because it's Gareth's job, and he only told us he wasn't going to be here tonight. No preparation whatsoever. Did you guys want to say anything about Demo?
I mean, The Seahawks offense didn't do anything, did it really? The game was only close because Brock gave away the pick six. But yeah, like you said, that's Gareth's man. So if there's nothing jumping off the page at this point, I think we're all right. Unless El Presidente with his gold chain's going to say something different.
No, not at all. I think you hit the nail on the head there. We weren't troubled all night.
Yeah, and then finally, my new player, which I alluded to earlier, Jair Brown. Unfortunately, I had to go for a new player because Jordan Mason didn't play this game, and we lost Huff to the end of the season and more. So I went for Brown, especially at the Bucks game. He had a pick, sealed the game, a cracking game. He got burnt a couple of times, but I thought he was very good against the Seahawks. As you said, they didn't do anything. They didn't really challenge him, but I much rather have Jair Brown if we need to make a tackle. He's a tackling machine. Huff has a tendency of whiffing every now and then. I'm trying arm tackles or trying to delete people, but I think he's a lot more sound in his tackling ability. And he was always going to replace Tashan Gibson as the strong safety, and now he's been thrust into doing like a bit of free, a bit of strong. But yeah, no, I like him. He's good, and he's a rookie, and he's been just pushed onto the field. Yeah, go on, kid. Go and stop Baker Mayfield and Evans, and then Geno Smith and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And he's done really well. Hasn't allowed a touchdown yet, so that's all good.
Did you hear what George said about J.A. Brown when they asked Kittle?
No, what did he say?
So they asked Kittle, I think it must have been before the game, after the Buccaneer game, said, "Oh, what's your thoughts on Brown?" And Kittle said, "Well, I've been cooking him all season in training. He's playing for the scout team, so of course he's going to be good." And then they said, all jokes aside, at OTAs and rookie minicamp, Kittle said him and Warner took the rookies and spoke to them and said, "Look, this is what you need to do. You need to look after your body. You need to be like a sponge." And he said, J.A. Brown has been around the team. And after Kittle said that, I remember seeing some footage recently of Brown in uniform on the sideline, hyping the team up, celebrating tackles, celebrating touchdowns. And he wasn't getting snaps. And you think that shows that he's got the right mentality and the fact that he's been preparing right. So I'm smirking because Kittle started it with I've been cooking him all season, but then ended it with saying, "I can't do it anymore now because he's first team now. He's not going to be on the scout team anymore. This kid's going to be first team." So I thought that was just a nice touch to throw in there.
I'll tell you what, we all love watching that big boombox intro with Debo and Trent. Well, he's in there. He's loving it. He's taking part of it. And that's kind of showing, same again, the mentality. Huff does it too. But he's within that core group, Jaron Jennings and those guys that like to do this. Chase Young has jumped into it as well. So I think it's, you can see we drafted him for a reason. He's got it up here as well as the ability on the field. So that's good. I'm looking forward to seeing more play. Any PSAs? Anything to say?
Well, just before we get into PSAs, one more thing about the whole experience in Seattle. Not only did the 49er fans take over the stadium, we also took over their bar after the game.
Right.
So they go to a bar called the Blarney Stone, which is just outside of Pike Place, the market. And when we were walking back, I think the idea was we'd go to Kells. In fact, I think we walked all the way along to Kells, which is where all the 49er fans were on the morning. That was closed, so we came back and we decided to try the Blarney, hoping that there wasn't too many Seahawks fans in there. And there wasn't. There must have been about a dozen max. Everybody else were 49er fans in there. So we actually took over their bar in their city on Thanksgiving after we stuffed them.
Nice.
31-13.
31-13. Yeah.
We're never going to forget that score.
No.
Look at him. He's fuming.
That's brilliant. This game's great.
And he was there to watch it.
I was just about to say,
live as well.
I can't possibly be fuming because I was there.
You were there.
It's just...
I'll swap
we
that
always
for
joke
a score
we wouldn't
prediction.
get one. We always joked we wouldn't get one. I think you even said it the other week, Nadgy. It's not happening. So...
It's so hard to do. Well done, Paul. Congrats. I think the only PSA that I can think of is we will do a Goldmine podcast. It will probably be live because it's a lot easier for us to answer a question or invite people that were there that we're going to ask question to. We're not quite sure exactly when and the format it's going to take, but we're thinking about it. We don't want to wait too long because I'm still very much on a high of being over there. But unfortunately, the season doesn't stop. We need to carry on doing this preview review, and the buy is gone already, so we can't do it then. So we'll find a suitable time, and we'll definitely do a review and talk about it and how it went. Spoiler, that went pretty well. It went really, really well.
Say, you're going to get sick of hearing this man's name, but Wayne Humphrey, what a legend. The photos keep dropping. I'm just checking there. He's just dropped another batch in the group.
Yeah, I know. So
we're recording.
You might want to go and see the one with Brett, Lee. It's a good one.
It is a good one. Yeah,
well,
it's very relevant.
You and Brett,
it's very relevant to the statue that we stood outside of the Oracle baseball stadium.
Oh, right.
You'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
a certain Mr. Perry.
Yeah.
So we're going to show Wayne the love. So he's going to sponsor the shows moving forward. Wayne, we're going to shout your company out, buddy. I've asked him to send me an advert, Nadgy, so I can get that tweeted out because he does a lot for the community. The fact that he brings his camera, the photos are amazing, and he does it all for free. And like you said, you didn't even take any photos because you knew Wayne.
I didn't need to
take the photos. And what also I've seen, people are arranging mini meets for the weekend, so we'll get more into that for the next show.
The preview. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be on Sky. This might be, a little bit too ahead, but it looks like the Eagles-Niners game is going to be on Sky.
So one little announcement. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen this weekend or not, but potentially there's going to be 5 short interviews that was recorded during the Bucks game that goes live.
Yep.
I believe they are getting picked up by Sky, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I keep on expecting to see them on like a 49ers short video, because I think it was only a couple of minutes long.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all, no.
But yeah, there's 5 of us interviewed at the Bucks game, so that should be going out shortly.
Yeah, and on that note, go and watch the latest Thai podcast with Brianna. She's the one that interviewed us, so you can see us getting interviewed during that video. Massive shout out to Thai again. Massive shout out to Brianna. She was amazing. Go and watch this. Go and support other 49ers content creator. Thai is definitely one of the good ones. And I think that about wraps it up. So I don't remember how we finished this show. I think just enjoy this week of victory. We are pretty good indeed. Stay safe and go Niners.
Go Niners.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Gareth and Hurst, stiff farm going 99. Don't get it twisted, one and all with prime time. John Taylor, Jerry Rice down.